I'd like to give everybody an update on my Model A pickup. Not really a lot's happened since probably before Thanksgiving because the holidays and stuff. A lot goes on during the holidays. Started on it. I did a little bit of stuff between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I got the front fenders on, which was probably a 2-week long ordeal. They didn't fit very well. They were better than what I had, but they didn't fit very well. And I'll show you. This area right in here really didn't fit at all. So there has been a lot of cutting and torching and welding and a lot of stuff going on to make this area here right. None of the mounting holes lined up. That's why I got washers tacked on there, because I had to drip the holes that much. I'll probably cut a tool out of a spot facer, and then just take the bolt out and spot face this down and try to make it resemble a little bit more like this area here, this little dimple area, and then I'll body work that in. And this area right here on both sides, see it on that side, kind of wavy a little bit. I'll find me a little bit of a nice angle, and we'll put a return flange on, weld a return flange on down here. It'll follow the frame and come clear up here and stop just short of the radiator. The brackets that hold the front fenders on were another deal. You can see they've been torched around on, and they didn't really fit very good. This area right in here, when you just bolted it on, was clear down here. I mean, they weren't even close as far as what they're supposed to be. And then we had to remodify these deals here. This was originally a plate welded on backside here. Well, there wasn't enough room between the fender and the suspension, so I had to cut through that, and then I plasma cutted a plate out to go in here and welded it on there. When all the body work and stuff is done, I'll pretty that up a little bit, and I'll paint it to match whatever the frame color ends up being on this deal. Up front here, I did have the hood out here for a little while, and it runs uphill with the 32 grill. This is a 31 truck, and I'm going to put a 32 grill in it. So the radiator was a $685 deal, and I didn't really know it at the time, but I could have got one with a 2-inch cutout to where it was about 2 inches shorter than the stock radiator. But now that I have the radiator, I've got to make what I got work. So these are the mounting for the radiator. One here and one there. I'll end up cutting these off and moving them down to where the radiator probably sits about ½ inch above this beam here, this cross member. And then whatever dimension that it ends up falling, I will cut that out, that dimension out of this area right in here, and I'll move this lip down. And then that ought to give me enough downhill slope on the hood so it don't look funny or screwed up. This area here is what I guess they call it bubbling the fenders. There's another part of the suspension that comes in through here, and it's really close. So I bubbled this area. This will get all body worked in. Had some problems with the splash apron fitting like it should, so we had to do all that. I got stainless steel fasteners for all this after it's painted. Stainless steel fasteners for all of this after it's painted. But anyway, that's what has happened on the front. I think it kind of looks like a truck again. What I wanted to show you guys was, and I did for Christmas, I just did temporarily put the windshield frame in. It's just kind of held on with a couple screws. But in this area here, as you can see, what I did was I flush fit my doors. So I cut all of this area out and welded an angle in there. It's just tacked in right now, but anyway, it'll eventually be welded in there. Had to take the wood in the door jamb out. It's gonna have to be dadoed to clear all this, but that ain't gonna be no big deal. What I did was this door is supposed to overlap the body by this amount. What I did was I shut the door, made a tool, and basically a paint stick and a piece of this angle that I was using, and drew a line on there, and then cut it on the line. As far as inboard, which would be the inboard. I ordered some weather strip from Steel Rubber Products, and yeah, Steel Rubber Products, and that's what this is. As you can see, it comes with its own self-adhesive deal on there. I don't know how well that'll stick. I'll probably back it up with a little windshield glue, black windshield glue, just to make sure that it has that holding it and a little bit more. Of course, that'll be after paint. But that's the weather strip I ordered, and because that's the weather strip I ordered, I made all my dimensions as far as how deep this lip is going to be off of that. So when that weather strip is on there and this door is shut, it should seal pretty good. Do I think it's going to be airtight? No. Do I think it'll be watertight? Maybe to a certain extent. Perfect? No, it won't be. I'll have issues up here because there's this weather strip that I ordered may work up there and it may not. I don't know. I ordered it for this here and this, and I've got weather strip for the bottom as well. When it's all said and done and all the body work's done, it ought to look pretty good. This here's what it's looking like, will look like after the door's shut and everything's said and done. I saw one of these trucks on the internet that had this done to it, and that's what kind of really drove me. I've never really liked the door overlapping the body. I've never really liked that. In fact, the first truck I looked at 7 years ago when I started looking for these, it overlapped, and I thought it was right. I actually thought it was wrong, but it's not. It's meant to do that. This door overlaps because the frame's so flexible. The back of this door actually moves up and down a little bit as the frame flexes and it goes over the dirt roads and what have you. Well, I don't have to worry about frame flex anymore. So I decided that this was probably the best way to go for what I wanted to do. I am building a street rod. I want it to look as much like it's supposed to as possible, but I really wanted to modernize it a little bit. And I don't know, give me your opinion on that. I mean, it is what it is now. I mean, there's not going to be any changing it now, but I think it kind of took some of the old out of it. But anyway, that's what I've been up to on it. I think the next thing that'll happen is I'll go ahead and finish welding this angle in and get all this crap ground down, and I'll finish doing my deal on the bottom to get it to clear. Then I'll get the cherry picker out and I'll start looking at what it's going to take to get the motor installed, and because I got to have the motor installed in order to know where the steering column is going to go, and there's going to be some stuff going on to get all the D-rod around the headers and all that kind of crap. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, on a side note, Volkswagen Darren and his wife Andrea, thanks for the calendar. I really appreciate that. And Tom from Tom's Wonderful World, thanks for getting a hold of them and letting them know that I was interested in a calendar. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Comment.